A video recently surfaced on social media showing a woman from Burkina Faso speaking passionately about the remarks made by some Kenyan leaders regarding Captain Ibrahim Traoré. In the clip, she responds firmly, addressing the tone and attitude displayed toward the young Burkinabè leader. Her words, recorded in a straightforward manner, quickly caught attention across various online platforms and triggered widespread conversation across Africa.
Are you a minister? You one of the cabinet of Ruto? Now I understand why the Kenya say Ruto must go. Because you are in Kenya when a lot of problem is happening in Kenya, you have nothing to offer Kenyans. You are not standing in front of Kenya and address the issue of Halbert, who was found alive in the Kenya police custody. You never talk about the Kenya military who shoot a youth on a protest ground. Somebody that is only the face mask guy. You never talk about that. You never talk about the reason why Kenya are always every day on protest, dragging with the government. But you have mind to talk about Burkina Faso. You are a useless idiot. 70 years old.
The woman, whose name remains unknown, was not speaking in a formal setting. There was no podium, no special lighting, no crowd. It was simply her, standing or sitting, with a phone camera capturing her face and voice as she expressed deep frustration. She began by questioning why leaders from another African country would feel entitled to mock or undermine the leadership of another sovereign nation, especially one facing complex challenges. Her tone was steady but urgent. She emphasized that her words were not meant to insult Kenyans or the people of Kenya, but to address what she described as arrogance from certain political figures who had commented negatively on the leadership style of Captain Traoré. In her message, she made it clear that she found the critiques made about Traoré to be misplaced and condescending. She stated, "Before you open your mouths about Traoré, look at the mess in your own backyard." That statement was widely repeated online and interpreted by many as a call for self-reflection. She appeared to suggest that instead of focusing on another country's leadership choices, leaders should first evaluate the situations in their own countries. She did not shy away from expressing disappointment in what she saw as a lack of African solidarity. According to her, while African nations face various internal problems, it is important to recognize each country's right to determine its own path. She questioned why some leaders would choose to criticize rather than learn or engage in dialogue. Her message was not only directed at the political elite, but also at the general public, particularly those on social media who had shared or echoed the criticisms. The woman continued by stating that Captain Ibrahim Traoré is not a conventional leader and does not operate within traditional political frameworks. However, she made it clear that his leadership had meaning to many Burkinabè citizens. She explained that while critics focus on the fact that he came to power through military means, many ordinary people see his leadership as an opportunity for change. She asked why this reality is so difficult for others to understand. In her words, "Our leader may wear military fatigues, but he wears no chains."
Who wear this man suit? He look like kangaroo, this man. He look like kangaroo. Movadaki, or Izadaki, I don't know his name. See, if Kenya is AI generated like Burkina, your citizen will not be every day on the street. It's a disgrace to you and Kenya cabinet that Kenya every day on the street crying to you. You have nothing to do. So go and do AI for Kenya so that you will see whether Kenyans will complain or they will not complain. In the history of Africa right now, Ibrahim is the most loved president. That is why you all are jealous. You are jealous with your old coconut head. 70 years old man, no sense. You have time to come and gossip about Ibrahim Traoré, a man that is like your whole son. Is doing something in his border is affecting you in Kenya. Because you have nothing to offer the citizen of Kenya. Because if you are busy working hard, you will not have time to come and speak. Jobless ministers everywhere. Remove Ibrahim from your mouth. If not, you will let 36 Battalion enter Williams Ruto. We will hard force with Ruto must go and Ruto will go. Please, stay in your border and take care of Kenya youth. Do AI for Kenya youth. Do AI generated intelligence for them. Maybe they will stop protesting every day. Because the most useless president ever right now is William Ruto.
Her point seemed to highlight that the form of leadership should not be the only measure of legitimacy. She argued that results, intent, and independence also matter. While acknowledging that Burkina Faso is not a perfect country and still faces numerous challenges, she defended the nation's current direction under Traoré's leadership. She stated that the people had hope for the first time in years and that this hope should not be mocked or dismissed. As she spoke, she mentioned that some Kenyan leaders had used dismissive phrases, referring to Traoré as a soldier boy and suggesting that his leadership lacked legitimacy due to the absence of democratic elections. The woman challenged this argument by asking what democracy has achieved in many African countries. Without naming any specific nations or individuals, she posed the rhetorical question, "What have your elections done for your people?" She implied that elections, while important, are not always a guarantee of good governance, transparency, or progress. Her video did not solely focus on defending Traoré. It was also a reflection on the broader state of African leadership and unity. She pointed out that too often, African countries fail to support one another, and instead, leaders engage in public criticism or political posturing. She argued that this approach weakens the continent's collective strength and undermines efforts toward independence and progress. In her view, the habit of publicly questioning or ridiculing other African leaders does more harm than good.
Ruto and his cabinet, they have nothing to offer their citizens. Every day, Kenya are on the streets crying. But you have time to come and wear your suit, your borrowed suit, to come and talk about our president. Foolish idiot people. Respect the border. Stay in your border and take care of citizens of Kenya. Don't ever insult us in Burkina and call us AI-generated country. At least we love our president. Kenyans don't love you. Kenya don't love you, Muvedeki, and Ruto and all of the cabinet. The last time they chased you people out to the bush. You want Kenya? You know Kenyans are they are Burkina in their blood. You want Kenyans to? If you see jobless people, you will see them. This man and Ruto, they are very jobless. Only what they can do is to order the police and the military of Kenya to go and unalive their citizens on the street. Ibrahim did not unalive his citizen. At least we love him. Across Africa, they love Ibrahim. But you people, you don't, even your citizens don't love you, not to talk of another country that is closer to you. Because you have nothing to offer Kenya. You fail. One of you failed woefully. From the president to the vice president to the first lady to all of you, even the last person on the cabinet, you all are failure. You failed Kenya, you failed Africa. Now you are here to come and talk nonsense about Burkina. Who give you Igbo smoke? Idiots. Go and face the problem in your country. Elderly man, you should be busy by now. Can you imagine? At least do what Ibrahim is doing. Do it for your citizens and see whether they will protest again. And the last time I checked, Ruto is not having gun, but is terrorizing the citizens of Kenya. Ruto is not a military man, but every day Kenya are missing. Tell us. Tell us.
The video spread rapidly across African social media spaces. It was reposted by several pages, bloggers, and users who found her message compelling. Some users applauded her for saying what many others were thinking but had not articulated. Her statements were shared not only by supporters of Captain Traoré, but also by citizens in other countries who resonated with her call for unity and respect among African nations. Comments on the video came from all corners of the continent. Some Kenyans responded defensively, while others expressed agreement with her observations. One user commented that her words were harsh but true, while another said, "It's time African leaders stop acting like they know what's best for everyone else." Her video opened up conversations not just about Burkina Faso or Kenya, but about the larger issue of how Africans view and treat each other in political discourse. She also touched on the issue of sovereignty. In her remarks, she explained that Burkina Faso's recent decisions, such as cutting ties with certain international powers and attempting to manage its own resources, were about asserting independence, not about isolation or aggression. She questioned why African countries are often discouraged or criticized for attempting to move away from external control. Without mentioning specific geopolitical powers, she made it clear that Africa has the right to self-determination and should not be punished or mocked for choosing a different route. Her video did not advocate for violence or instability. Instead, it was a passionate reminder that the African continent is diverse, and each country must be allowed to choose its own leaders, systems, and solutions. She suggested that the obsession with judging one another through narrow lenses, such as election cycles, Western standards, or media portrayals, is counterproductive. Another point that stood out in her message was the idea that African youth are watching closely. She said that young people across the continent are aware of how leaders behave, how they speak about each other, and how they respond to global challenges. Her words implied that the future of Africa depends not just on elections or military takeovers, but on how current leaders engage with each other and how they respond to the continent's evolving needs. Her closing words struck a chord with many. If Kenya doesn't want Traoré, Africa does. That line, taken out of context, could be misunderstood as combative, but in the full scope of her message, it appeared to be a call for greater understanding and support among African nations. She wasn't claiming that Traoré should lead Africa, but rather that his leadership represents something meaningful for many Africans, and that should be respected, not ridiculed. Throughout the video, the woman never raised her voice. Her tone was serious, controlled, and consistent. She did not insult individual leaders or mention names. Her focus remained on principles: respect, unity, independence, and dignity. Her message was not about defending one man, but defending the right of a people to choose their path without external judgment. As the video continued to spread, analysts and commentators began discussing the impact of her message. Some noted that this single clip managed to do what many formal summits and speeches fail to do: spark honest dialogue. It served as a reminder that political discourse in Africa is no longer confined to statehouses and press rooms. Ordinary citizens, using nothing but their phones and their voices, are now part of the continental conversation. It is worth noting that no official Kenyan authority has directly responded to her video. The remarks she referenced may have been made by politicians or influencers speaking in personal or informal capacities. Nonetheless, the fact that her video resonated so widely suggests that the public is hungry for more sincere, grounded conversations about leadership, respect, and African unity. This event highlights the changing face of political engagement in Africa. It demonstrates how narratives are no longer controlled solely by governments or media houses, but by individuals who can connect with millions through a simple message. Whether one agrees or disagrees with her, it is clear that her words sparked reflection, and that in itself is valuable. Her message may fade from the trending lists in a few days or weeks, but the issues she raised remain. The questions she asked continue to echo across communities. What defines leadership? Who gets to judge another country's choices? And when will African nations truly begin to listen to each other without the filters of colonial legacy or international pressure? As the debates continue, her voice will remain part of the wider African dialogue, a voice that, at least for a moment, reminded the continent of the power of one citizen to speak, to challenge, and to call for respect.